Hi, everyone. I'm Brent Hawkins. I'm at Clemson University. Heather Porter at Temple University and Betsy Kemeny at Slippery Rock University. We are co-investigators for a study we've been doing through ATRA. It's a series of Delphi and a competency study. So we're going to share a little bit about what this study is, what it means to you, and how you can be involved. So the title of this presentation is Keys to Competent Practice, ATRA's Delphi and Competency Study. So this study originated through the ATRA treatment sections. The treatment sections had a desire to better understand specific competencies within various areas of practice. And since then, it has evolved into a much larger Delphi study. There's actually 7 Delphi studies all wrapped into one. And then we use those results to develop a profession-wide competency study. So not just through ATRA membership, but also to all CTRSs in our profession. So for a little background about what we know about competency, our practice is really guided by the NCTRC job analysis, which identifies knowledge and skill areas that are important for current competent practice and is generally related to the APIDE process. We also know something from our academic program accreditation. For example, CART, the Commission on Accreditation for Recreational Therapy Education, provides standards for educational programs. So graduates from RT programs, what skills and knowledge, what knowledge base and skills should they have when they graduate? We also know some things from the ATRA Standards of Practice, which provides general RT practice guidelines. And these resources are really great, but there are some limitations in what they provide us with. Some of the limitations, what they do not include, are specific information on specific populations, specific modalities and interventions, specific techniques, specific education, training, and counseling topics, as assessment tools being used, theories that drive our profession, as well as some other really neat things. So what are the things that are on the horizon of practice that we need to be aware of now and be preparing for as contemporary practice changes? So you might be wondering, why is this information important for me to know? Well, one thing, it helps us keep the pulse on current RT practice. So what is the field doing? Then identify what are the research needs that our field has. Identify what's on the horizon of practice. So RT is actually ahead of the curve of contemporary practice. And lastly, identifying education and training needs. So for instance, those of you who are seeking continuing education units, this will help inform what those continuing education units look like. So we'll be able to identify what areas of practice does our field generally need more education on. So here we are. So given that, we've developed the Delphi competency study. To dive a little bit more into these, and Betsy and Heather will share in more detail, the Delphi study we recruited some RT experts, and we'll talk about the criteria for that expertise in just a little bit. We asked them in each treatment section, what are the diagnostic populations that you serve? Or who are the diagnostic populations that you serve? What interventions, modalities do you use? What techniques do you use? What education, training, and counseling do you use? What standardized assessments do you implement? What theories do you use to drive your practice? And then what should we be aware of as a profession, competency and skill set? Once we compiled all that information, we developed a competency study that reaches beyond those experts and will reach beyond, will reach into all CTRSs, the whole profession. So this is where you come in. We will need your help to complete this competency study.
Right, so let's talk a little bit more about the Delphi study. So Delphi studies are utilized by various disciplines. They're used to generate consensus from a particular group of individuals through 3 survey rounds. For the ATRA Delphi study, the first step entailed putting out a call for experts. Through multiple avenues, including the NCTRC and ATRA mailing lists, we put out a call for RT experts to participate in the Delphi study. The participants needed to possess the CTRS credential, have 5 or more years of experience with the same population, and demonstrate engagement in scholarship activities through presentations, publications, and/or research. Individuals could nominate themselves as an expert, or they could nominate others. In either case, they needed to upload materials to verify that they did indeed meet the expert requirements. This slide illustrates the number of RT experts in each ATRA treatment network panel after reviewing the nominations and verifying the submitted materials. Now that the RT experts were identified and agreed to participate in the study, they received 3 rounds of electronic surveys. In the first round, participants answered some basic closed-ended demographic questions, along with a series of open-ended questions that asked them to list the specific information about their RT practice. These things are the things that Brent had mentioned previously, which include diagnostic populations, they treated, modalities, interventions, and techniques they utilized, education, training, and counseling they provided, standardized assessment tools and theories they utilized in practice, and the things that they felt were on the horizon of RT practice in which we should be attentive. The information provided by the experts was then consolidated and sent back to the participants for review. They were asked to indicate if they agreed or disagreed with each item. They were additionally able to add more items and suggest revisions. The information provided by the experts was then again consolidated and sent back to the participants for a final review. As with any study, it can be difficult to obtain 100% compliance in completing each of the survey rounds. This slide illustrates the number of experts that completed each survey round. The literature recommends 10 to 18 experts per panel. As you can see, some of the panels fell below the recommendation. However, when combined, the number of experts for each survey round ranged from, the number of experts from each round ranged from 53 to 67, which is more than adequate, as all of the responses from all the panels were combined to form the second part of the study, which is the competency study, which Betsy will explain.
So we're very pleased to be at this point where we can actually combine and compile all of the findings from the Delphi study into one link that we can make available to all CTRSs. One of the things that we're going to be doing is actually asking each individual CTRS to participate in this part of the study. They'll be given a list of items and ask what their perceived degree of competency is for each item, the extent to which each item actually is used in their practice, and if they're interested in receiving more training or education in this area. So this is where you come in. We really, really need your help, and we will be sending out many, many different ways to ask through the ATRA email blast, through the NCTRC. We'll be sending it out to all CTRSs, whether they're ATRA members or not. We want to hear from everyone about their opinion. Also, we'll be sending out announcements through the Recreational Therapy Net and ATRA Facebook and probably Instagram too. So at the conclusion of the study, we'll again go back to the drawing board and analyze the findings. We'll make those available as soon as we possibly can because I know people are really interested in the findings because they are pertinent to our lives. And what we want to do is make them available right away to ATRA, especially because the board of ATRA is very excited about what this will mean for members in terms of making the CEUs relevant to what they're doing in practice, what they need to be empowered as recreational therapists. And obviously we'll make it available as well to other entities such as the accrediting bodies and NCTRC. So these will be hopefully used by many people. And again, if you have any questions or comments about this study, feel free to reach out to any of the investigators. We've listed our email here, and we'd be very happy to hear from you. Thanks for taking the time to listen and hear a little bit about the ATRA competency study and how you can be a part of it.